It begins in darkness, a deep, comfortable silence where your consciousness drifts, untethered. And then it comes, a piercing, synthetic shriek that rips through the peace. The alarm. That sound is not a gentle invitation to a new day. It is the first shot fired in the war for your life, and in the first 3 seconds of that war, before your mind is even fully online, you lose. You lose the moment your hand, moving with a will of its own, a ghost in your own machine, slaps the snooze button. That single, seemingly insignificant act is the moment of surrender. It is the first broken promise you make to yourself, before your eyes have even adjusted to the dim light of morning. It is the silent, damning confession that your comfort is more important than your commitment. This, right here, is the great chasm that separates the 99% from the 1%. It is not about wealth or luck or privilege. It is about the negotiation. The 99% negotiate with their alarm clock. In that foggy space between sleep and wakefulness, they hold a tribunal in their own minds. They bargain for 5 more minutes. Just 10 more minutes. They plead their own case for weakness, arguing for the seductive warmth of the blankets, for the fleeting bliss of mediocrity, for the sweet poison of more sleep. The 1% do not negotiate. They do not debate. They do not consider the alternative. The alarm is a command, not a suggestion, and they execute. They understand a fundamental truth that the rest of the world has forgotten. The entire trajectory of your day, the momentum of your life, is won or lost in those first 3 seconds. Think about it. When you made the decision the night before to wake up at a certain time, you were your best self. You were rational, ambitious, and forward-thinking. That version of you set a goal. But the version of you that wakes in the morning is your weakest self. It is primal, driven by instinct, craving only comfort and the path of least resistance. When you hit the snooze button, you are letting your weakest self defeat your best self. You are starting your day with an act of self-sabotage. This is not a new battle. It is the oldest battle in human history, the war between discipline and indulgence, between who you want to become and who you are right now. Every time that alarm goes off, you are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to the person you dream of being, strong, resilient, in command of their own destiny. The other path, the well-trodden path, leads back under the covers, back to the safety of the familiar, back to the same results you have always gotten. The snooze button is the gateway to that second path. It feels like a small victory, a stolen moment of pleasure, but it is a profound loss. It is a declaration to the universe, and more importantly, to your own subconscious mind, that your word is not law, that your intentions are flexible, that your resolutions are disposable. You have been losing this war for years. Day after day, morning after morning, you have surrendered. You have chosen warmth over will, and you have paid the price in ways you may not even realize. You believe those extra minutes are a reward, a small comfort in a cold, demanding world. This is the grand illusion, the lie you whisper to yourself to justify the surrender. You tell yourself you're gathering strength, stealing a few precious moments of peace before the day's onslaught begins. But the truth is far more sinister. That act of hitting snooze is not a moment of rest. It is a microdose of self-betrayal. You are not gaining energy. You are practicing failure. With each press of that button, you are sending a powerful, unambiguous signal deep into your subconscious mind. Your commitments are negotiable. Your word, even to yourself, is flexible. You are, in effect, training your own nervous system to prioritize the fleeting warmth of comfort over the enduring strength of commitment. Think of it as a form of neurological conditioning. Your alarm represents your first stated intention for the day. It is the first promise you make. When you override it for a few minutes of fragmented, low-quality sleep, you are teaching the deepest parts of your brain that your intentions do not need to be followed by action. This creates a cognitive dissonance that echoes throughout your entire day. You wonder why you procrastinate on that important project at work. You wonder why you skip the gym, even though you promised yourself you would go. You wonder why you cannot stick to a diet. The root of this pattern of failure was planted the moment you chose the blanket over the cold floor. You are building a life on a foundation of broken promises to the one person you can never escape, yourself. This is not about being tired. This is about integrity. And then, before your feet even touch the ground, you commit the second great sin of the modern morning. You reach for your phone. That small, glowing rectangle becomes your portal out of your own life and into the curated, meaningless highlight reels of others. You believe you are just catching up, but what you are actually doing is flooding your prefrontal cortex with a tidal wave of cheap, unearned dopamine. Your brain, still in a delicate state of waking, is being hijacked. It is being taught to seek immediate, low-effort rewards. You are looking at vacation photos, political arguments, celebrity gossip, and advertisements before you have had a single, original thought of your own. You are consuming the output of 1,000 other minds before you have taken a moment to consult your own. This is not a strategy for a successful day. It is a slow-acting poison. You are voluntarily surrendering your most valuable resource, your morning focus, to the chaos of the digital world. You are allowing the agendas, anxieties, and artificial triumphs of others to set the emotional and cognitive tone for your entire day. You start the day in a state of reaction, not intention. You are a passenger in the back of a car, scrolling through the window, instead of the driver with your hands firmly on the wheel. This two-part trap, the negotiation with the alarm, followed by the immersion in distraction, is designed to keep you weak. It dissolves your mental armor, piece by piece, one snooze button, one mindless scroll at a time, ensuring that you enter the battlefield of your life already defeated. This internal war you fight each morning. It is not a modern invention. It is not a product of smartphones or social media. This battle between the person you want to be and the person who begs for 5 more minutes of sleep is ancient. It is a fundamental human conflict, one that was fought in drafty Roman villas and cold military tents 2,000 years ago, just as it is fought in your comfortable bedroom today. The stakes have always been the same: a life of mediocrity or a life of meaning. Imagine the most powerful man in the known world, an emperor, ruling over a quarter of the planet's population, from the deserts of Africa to the shores of Britain. A man whose every whim could become law, whose every enemy could be crushed. This man, Marcus Aurelius, woke before dawn, not always in a palace, but often in a cold, damp tent on the brutal northern frontier, preparing to lead his legions against barbarian hordes. And yet, in the quiet darkness of those mornings, he faced the exact same enemy you do: the siren song of the warm blankets, the seductive whisper of comfort. He documented this struggle in his private journal, a book never meant for our eyes, which we now know as Meditations. And in it, he gives himself a direct command, a piece of psychological programming so powerful it has echoed through the centuries. He wrote, Quote 1. Listen to those words again. This is not a gentle suggestion. It is a raw, unflinching confrontation with the self. He isn't just talking about a job. When he says, as a human being, he is talking about our very nature, our purpose. He is asking a question that should shake you to your core. Were you born to pursue comfort, or were you born to fulfill a function? This is the law, the Stoic law of action. It posits that our value, our happiness, and our meaning are not found in feeling good, but in doing good, in acting in accordance with our nature. The world outside your control will demand so much of you. It will be chaotic, unpredictable, and often unfair. Your boss will make unreasonable requests. The economy will fluctuate. People will disappoint you. Almost everything that happens after you leave your home is a variable you cannot fully command. But the space between the sound of that alarm and your feet hitting the floor, that is your sovereign territory. It is the one kingdom where you are the absolute, undisputed ruler. And in that kingdom, you have a simple, binary choice. The blankets offer warmth. Duty offers a life. You have been choosing warmth. You have been choosing the fleeting, hollow comfort of a soft prison over the demanding, fulfilling freedom of the world outside. You have been telling yourself that this small indulgence doesn't matter. But the Emperor of Rome knew better. He knew that this first decision of the day sets the precedent for every decision that follows. It is the first link in a chain that will either bind you to mediocrity or pull you towards greatness. By choosing to huddle and stay warm, you are not just delaying your day. You are surrendering your character. You are casting a vote for the weaker version of yourself. And that version has been winning the election every single morning. The question is no longer why you fail. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Your weakness is a habit. And like any habit, it is a deeply grooved neural pathway. A path of least resistance your brain defaults to without conscious thought. We will not try to erase this path. We will carve a new one. We will blast a new road through the bedrock of your inertia with overwhelming force. This is not a list of helpful tips. This is a protocol for building mental armor. These are the 10 morning rules of the executor, and they are not negotiable. Rule 1. The 5-second rule. The moment your alarm sounds, your mind will begin its campaign of sedition, whispering lies about fatigue and comfort. You will not listen. You will begin a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Before you reach 0, your body must be in motion, swinging out of bed. This is a psychological kill switch for hesitation. It interrupts the brain's habit loop of procrastination and forces a physical action before the emotional, weaker part of you can veto the decision. It is the first assertion of will over instinct. Rule 2. Feet on the floor. Both feet. Plant them firmly on the ground. This is not a trivial step. This is a physical anchor to the present moment. The sensation of the cold floor sends a powerful signal through your nervous system, a jolt of reality that tells your body the state of rest is over. We are active. We are engaged. It is a symbolic act of grounding yourself for the day ahead, declaring your presence and your readiness. Rule 3. No phone for 60 minutes. Your phone is a portal to distraction, a fire hose of other people's emergencies, opinions, and curated happiness. To touch it in the first hour is to surrender your own agenda before it has even been set. For the first 60 minutes of your day, your mind is sacred territory. It is yours to program, to fortify, to align. You will not allow the digital noise of the world to be the first input. You will cultivate your own signal. Rule 4. Hydrate. Before coffee, before food, you will drink 1 liter of water. Your body has been in a state of dehydration for hours. Your brain, your muscles, your very cells are starved for it. This is not about quenching thirst. It is about priming the machine. You are flushing out metabolic waste and providing the essential element for every single biological process. It is the most fundamental act of operational readiness. Rule 5. Sunlight. 10 minutes of direct sunlight. No sunglasses, no windows in between. Allow the photons to strike the photoreceptors in your retina. This is a non-negotiable biological command. It triggers the suppression of the sleep hormone melatonin and initiates the healthy release of cortisol, setting your circadian rhythm for the entire day. You are telling your brain, at a primal level, the day has begun. We are awake. Rule 6. Physical ignition. 15 minutes of intense movement. This is not a workout for aesthetics. It is an assertion of dominance over your physical self. Push-ups, air squats, burpees, anything that elevates your heart rate and demands effort. You are creating a state change, flooding your body with endorphins and your brain with oxygen. You are proving, through action, that your body is a tool that obeys your will, not a master that dictates your mood. Rule 7. Cold exposure. At the end of your shower, 2 minutes of the coldest water you can stand. Your mind will scream for you to stop. You will not. You will control your breathing and endure. This is the practice of being comfortable with the uncomfortable. You are voluntarily entering a state of stress to master your response to it, training your nervous system to remain calm under pressure. Rule 8. Mission definition. Take a pen and paper and write down the one critical task that, if completed, will make the day a victory. One single thing, not a list. One target. This provides clarity and purpose, a lens through which all other decisions for the day will be filtered. It is your North Star in the chaos. Rule 9. Fuel for war. Your first meal will consist of protein and healthy fats. No sugar, no simple carbohydrates. Sugar creates a spike and crash, leaving you foggy and weak. Protein and fat provide sustained, stable energy. You are fueling an operator for a long mission, not pacifying a child with a treat. Rule 10. Read the code. 1 page. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. This is your morning briefing. You are aligning your mind with the timeless principles of command, of virtue, of resilience. You are reminding yourself of the laws that govern a life of meaning before you step onto the battlefield of the day. This is your new code. This is the armor you will build, piece by piece, every single dawn. Your training is complete. The theory is understood. The protocol has been delivered. But knowledge without execution is merely a whisper in the wind, a ghost of potential. It is meaningless. Your life, up until this very moment, may have been a collection of well-intentioned whispers. Good ideas that died in the comfort of your bed. Noble plans that dissolved in the warm haze of a dream. That ends now. Your first test, your first true opportunity to forge a new identity, begins not next week, not tomorrow, but at the next sunrise. That alarm you set is no longer a suggestion. It is a summons. It is the bell that signals the start of the first round. When it sounds, you will feel the pull of your old self. That voice, the one that has held you captive for years, will begin its negotiation. It will be soothing. It will be rational. It will tell you that 5 more minutes won't hurt. It will whisper that you are tired, that you deserve this small comfort, that the world can wait. That voice is the enemy. It is the architect of your mediocrity, and your mission is to silence it. You will execute Rule 1, the 5-second rule, without hesitation, without debate, without a single moment of internal negotiation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your feet are on the floor. That is the only reality you will permit. There is no tomorrow where you will start. There is no future date circled on a calendar for your transformation. There is only the next execution. This single, decisive action is your first step out of the 99%. It is the physical manifestation of a choice. The choice to stop being a slave to your impulses and to start being the commander of your life. This is more than just waking up early. This is a declaration of sovereignty over your own mind. And every declaration requires a public vow. It needs to be spoken, to be written, to be etched into the world outside the confines of your own skull. This is where the battle becomes real. This is where you draw your line in the sand. I want you to go to the comments section right now and write a single, declarative phrase. That phrase is your new creed. It is your commitment. It is your first act of war against the lesser self that has held you back. The phrase is, I do not negotiate with weakness. Read those words again. I do not negotiate with weakness. To negotiate is to imply a conversation between equals. Your weakness is not your equal. It is a saboteur. It is an insurgent within your own mind that must be starved, isolated, and eradicated. You do not reason with it. You do not bargain with it. You issue commands, and you enforce them with ruthless discipline. By writing this phrase, you are doing something profound on a psychological level. You are engaging a principle known as commitment and consistency. When you state a position publicly, your brain creates an intense subconscious pressure to behave in a way that is consistent with that statement. You are making a promise not just to yourself, but to a community of others who are also on this path. You are holding yourself to a higher standard. This is not a hollow affirmation. It is the forging of a weapon. So write it now. Do not hesitate. Let that be your first act of immediate, decisive execution. Let the world bear witness to your vow. That public commitment will be the anchor you hold on to when the alarm sounds in the dark. It will be the voice of the commander that drowns out the whisper of the coward. This is your first order. Your first step toward a life of meaning, of purpose, of unyielding self-respect. Once you have made your declaration, subscribe to this channel for your next set of orders. The war for your mind is fought on many fronts. Waking up is only the beginning. Dismissed.